And new polling suggests the GOP field is still dominated by a candidate who refuses to take the debate stage. The new NBC News poll puts Donald Trump 43 points ahead of the rest of the field. While in a hypothetical matchup with the current president, Donald Trump sits tied with Joe Biden at 46%. Let's bring in NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki, along with former Republican Congressman from Florida, Carlos Curbelo, and former Obama White House aide, Elena Beverly. Good to see all of you. Steve, break down the numbers for us in this new poll.
Yeah, Anna, I mean, so you mentioned it here on the Republican side, just days away from debate number 2. And here's Donald Trump with a 43-point advantage over his nearest rival, Ron DeSantis. Trump now up to nearly 60% in the Republican horse race. You know, there was talk before that first debate. Would Trump pay a price with Republican voters for skipping it? Would he be giving his Republican opponents sort of a free spotlight that they could use to close the gap? Absolutely no evidence that anything negative happened to Trump within his own party or really anything positive happened for his rivals coming out of that first debate. Trump's lead is stronger. The last time we put a poll out in the field was the start of the summer. Trump was at 51% then. Now he's at 59%. DeSantis was at 22 at the start of the summer. He's fallen down to 16%. Everyone else in single digits. In fact, if you zoom out and you think back to this spring when Ron DeSantis first entered the race, Ron DeSantis in our poll this spring was only 15 points behind Donald Trump. It looked like a real contest between the two of them. And now that Trump advantage has tripled to nearly it's 43 points. It's nearly tripled from where it was this spring. So really heading into that debate this Wednesday, if Trump does indeed skip it, you'd wonder what incentive does he have to show up if this is what's going to happen on the Republican side. Then you mentioned if Republicans do go forward and nominate Donald Trump and we have a rematch of Trump versus Biden in 2024, our poll showing a tie between the two of them. Two notable things on this. Number one, remember that Joe Biden in 2020 actually won the national popular vote by about 4.5 points. It was the Electoral College that was much closer in 2020. So this is a shift, certainly would be a shift from that result. Also, in all of our polling leading up to the 2020 election, I counted 11 NBC polls from the fall of 2019 through Election Day 2020. Trump was never running this well against Biden. Trump was trailing Biden in all of our polling and in all of everybody else's polling in 2019 and 2020, faring better in the polling now. Why is that? It probably because Joe Biden's the incumbent president now. That's the big element that's flipped since the last time around. Biden's the incumbent president. When you ask folks about how he's doing as president, in our poll, 41% approve. This 56% disapprove. That's the highest Biden disapprove that we have measured in our poll since he became president. The economy, a big part of this. Just at the start of the Biden presidency, the country was basically split on whether they were satisfied or dissatisfied with the state of the economy. Now, barely 1 in 4 voters say they're satisfied with where the economy is. And then there is this. Certainly Donald Trump's legal situation, the indictments, the pending trials, all of the legal drama. That is a major or moderate concern to a big number of voters, 62%. That's a big negative for Trump. But look at the number that's even higher in this poll. 74% in our poll of all voters say that Joe Biden's age and fitness is a major or moderate concern to them. You don't get to that level, 74%, without a lot of Democrats saying it is a concern to them. And I think notable, Biden is 80 years old. Donald Trump turned 77 this summer. There's only a couple years between the two of them. But the number who say Trump's age and fitness is a major or moderate concern is 27 points less than the number for Joe Biden.
Okay, Steve Kornacki, a lot of interesting revelations in this new polling. Thank you.